Life has a way of testing us in moments we least expect. Sometimes it pushes us to the edge, sometimes it whispers in the quiet of our doubts, and sometimes it forces us to choose between breaking down and breaking through. The story you are about to hear is not just a story, it's a mirror. Somewhere inside it, you may see your own fears, your own failures, your own unspoken dreams. And if you stay with me till the end, you may walk away with a shift so powerful it changes how you face tomorrow. So listen carefully, because every detail matters. He stood on the edge of the bridge, the wind clawing at his shirt, the dark water below whispering promises of silence. His world had collapsed. He had lost his job, his family had abandoned him, his friends had drifted away. He felt invisible, worthless, like a mistake waiting to be erased. He leaned forward slightly, ready to let go, when a gravelly voice broke the night. "If you're going to jump," the voice said, "at least prove first that you've lived." The young man spun around. An old man in a weathered coat leaned on a cane, staring at him as if this moment was no accident. "What do you know about my life?" the young man snapped. The old man's eyes glimmered. "More than you think. I've seen hundreds standing right where you are. Most of them wasted their lives running from pain. But I'll ask you a question. If you've suffered so much, why not use that suffering to do something impossible before you die?" The young man froze. No one had spoken to him like that. No pity, no soft words, just a challenge. "What's the point?" he muttered. The old man smiled faintly. "The point is this. If you die tonight, you prove your pain owned you. But if you live even one more day and choose to face the thing that terrifies you most, then you prove you own it. Isn't that worth at least trying?" The words cut deep. And here's where I want you, listening right now, to pause. Because I know, yes, that some of you watching have stood on your own bridge. Maybe not a real one, but one in your mind. Maybe tonight. And if you've ever been there, you know how heavy that silence feels. So I need you to stay with this story, because what happens next may just change how you see your pain. The young man stepped back from the edge, trembling. "What would you have me do?" The old man handed him a small piece of paper. On it was written, "Do one thing tomorrow you've never dared to do. Not for success, not for anyone else, just to prove you're still alive." The young man stuffed the paper into his pocket, not believing, but not able to forget. The next day, he woke up angry. Angry at the world, angry at himself, angry at the stranger's words still echoing. To silence them, he decided to follow the note just to prove it was nonsense. He went to a boxing gym. He had never fought a day in his life. He laced up gloves, stepped into the ring, and got beaten until he collapsed, bloody and exhausted. But as he lay on the mat, something strange happened. He laughed. For the first time in months, he felt alive. The next day, he tried again. This time, he lasted longer. He wasn't good, but every punch he took was proof he was still here. Days became weeks. The gym became his battlefield, his therapy, his confession booth. Each day he found a little more strength, a little more fire. And I want you to think about this. What would your version of the boxing ring be? What's that one thing you've avoided, the one thing that scares you? Write it in the comments right now. Don't wait, because the moment you name it, you begin to weaken it. Months later, the young man walked back to the bridge. The water still rushed below. But this time he stood tall, chest rising with each breath. He was not healed, not perfect, not free of pain, but he was no longer broken. He whispered into the night, "You didn't win." And for the first time, he realized the old man had been right. Pain had not been his enemy. Pain had been his training partner, the fire that forced him to fight, the darkness that made him seek the light. So hear me when I say this: you cannot escape your suffering, but you can use it. You can transform it. You can make it your proof of life. And if you're still watching right now, I know it's because something in this story is tugging at your chest. Don't ignore it. Subscribe now, because every story I tell here is meant to pull you back from that edge and remind you you are stronger than you think. And leave a comment. What fear, what pain will you turn into your proof of life tonight?